the focus here is to manage weight. And why managing weight is very complicated? Because it is determined by many factors like genetic, hormonal, and behavioral factors, and also our environment and the lifestyle that we are in following. So there is no one particular strategy here which can be tailor made and said, okay, come on, you follow this and you're going to manage your weight for the rest of your life. It doesn't work that way. It was more of an individual based thing. So we need to figure out what works best for us and then follow that. So it is a challenge, yes, but then you can achieve it with determination. And let's see in the future slides how we are going to focus on those. And COVID-19's impact here is been very drastic, and we are all been working from home from March till now. So this has influenced in less physical activity throughout because you're not commuting to work back and forth and not taking enough breaks when required. So there's a lot of reduced movement. And stress is another important factor which adds on to your weight gain or weight loss. And it's also detrimental to your health, not only in weight aspect, but as for human health itself, it has been found that stress is one important factor that we need to work on and try to find ways to reduce stress with kids at home, to manage work and family. To strike a balance between two, we've been finding it difficult during this pandemic. And increased snacking between meals. Yes, when you're home, you tend to crave for food more often than you're at work because after breakfast, you want to, grab something from the pantry. You just get up, go get something from the kitchen for yourself to eat, or you make yourself, not only a cup of tea or coffee, but, added nibblings along with it. So such snacking habits have been observed, more during this work from home. And more screen time, yes, because we don't have the rush to get up the next day and, take the public transport. People tend to watch movies and, stay back late at night. And again, this is focusing on your sedentary pattern. You are not mobile and you're just glued in front of TV or any other, social media more than you used to. And indulging in festivities and celebrations, yes, because in a way it is a good thing that you are getting more time to celebrate as a family, but you're also indulging in a lot of added calories, like especially we had Diwali. Diwali is the first thing that comes up to our mind is sweets. So we always associate Diwali with sweets, of course, crackers. So such celebrations are joyful, and the joy is through food we get that joy. So we indulge more during such times. So all this put together in a nutshell. So now sedentary life, more calories. So how are we going to, cut down on those extra fat that we have accumulated so far? So the goal here basically is nothing but we have to keep three things in mind. One is the diet, the physical activity, the second, and then the lifestyle modification. So lifestyle modification here is nothing but you are integrating diet and physical activity together into your own, putting into practice. So we need to find out the right combination of all these three things. So that is going to be our goal of focus. So if we want to maintain health, we need to focus on these three things and suit, to your family, like how suit according to your needs. In order to know what is, weight gain or weight loss, this is a simple balance here that you see. What we consume, we need to spend, in layman's terms. So you eat in form of food, water, beverages, and all that. That is your energy in. But you need to spend that energy in order to get a balance. So when you're not able to strike a balance, then the balance goes either up or down. So there's going to be weight loss or weight gain, depending upon your energy in. If you're going to have more food, at the same time, you're going to spend very less energy. Obviously, yes, you're going to gain weight. The other way around, less intake and you're tremendously spending energy, you're a very hyperactive person, but your food consumption is very low, you're going to lose weight. This is the basics. I'm sure you're all aware of. I just wanted to brush through. Yeah. So your body mass index, this is a simple, very inexpensive tool, I would say, to assess where you stand. So just by looking at yourselves in the mirror, you may think, yes, I'm overweight or yeah, I'm underweight. Most of it, we don't think we are underweight. We always weigh ourselves a little higher and say, no, I look, I've gained a few extra kilos. So to actually place yourselves where you stand. Today, let us, revisit our max skills and let's see how far we remember division and multiplication. And let's calculate using the simple formula. I'm sure you're aware of your weight and height, at least roughly. So try to use this formula here, weight in kilograms. Say, for example, I've showed an example here. Say your weight is 70 or 60, 65, anything. So just write your weight there in kilograms, not in pounds, and then divide it by height in meters square. Don't worry if it's say you don't know in meters, you only know in centimeters. Say for it's 150 or 155, so you just write 1.5 and then square it. Can we quickly do it? You can use a paper and pencil if you're very good at maths, or just use your phone. I request you all to please calculate your BMI. It's weight in kilograms by height in meters square. Can we have an answer now, or you need more time?
It's quite shocking results. Anyway, Purnima, you can proceed.
I don't be alarmed. Yes, we are going to find a way to, whether it is where you stand, whether it's underweight or overweight, don't be alarmed. Yes, accept the reality and let's see how we can work on it. So whatever figure you have, arrived at, that is called your BMI. And here's a very colorful explanation of where you stand. The weight category. Normally, underweight is categorized like anything below 19 or 18.5 is considered as underweight. So in today, your focus should be to increase calories. I may tend to focus more on reducing. Plus, please don't follow that. Your goal should be to increase. If you fall under the underweight category, healthy weight is somewhere around 19 to 25. It's called as healthy weight. Yes, you are in the right path and keep doing what you're doing. Just here and there, small modifications, you will be able to maintain this. This weight is the ideal one. Overweight is also known as pre-obesity category, where 25 to 30, your BMI falls between this scale, you are considered as overweight or pre-obese. So you need to work on your diet, your physical activity, and bring a modification in your lifestyle immediately in order to prevent obesity. Okay, then it goes the obese category and severely obese and morbidly obese. So now that we know where we stand, so let us focus on the three aspects that I was stressing earlier: diet, physical activity, and your lifestyle. So the first one being diet. Diet is something you all have, tried and tested many diets, I'm sure, or you have heard a lot, you have browsed through the net, you have so much information, right? So I'm just going to stress only the important things that you need to focus. First being the balanced diet. I know it is very difficult to achieve a balanced diet, but please aim for it. Okay. And I'll just show you a healthy plate, how ideally a balanced diet should look like. So you have all the five food groups, your grains, that is the cereals, the rice, wheat, oats, everything come under the grains. They are the main source of carbohydrates. Then we have the proteins, pulses, lean meat, legumes, nuts all fall under this category. Then you have your fruits and vegetables. Then you have your dairy and dairy products, that is milk, cheese, all that come under that. And then, of course, water. So this is the ideal plate. So imagine you have a plate and divide the plate into half first. The first half, quarter of the plate, let it have only the whole grains, not the refined ones, not the refined flours, but we are focusing here, whole grains. Okay. It can be in the form of rice, chapati, it's up to you. And then quarter of the other plate has to be a healthy protein. A lean protein is very good if you're a non-vegetarian. And if you're a vegan or a vegetarian, try to focus on plant-based proteins, beans, nuts, and legumes like that. Okay, the first half is over. The second half, 60% of the plate should be rich, colorful vegetables and fruits, and 40% is fruits. And try to alternate, all kinds of vegetables in a week. Make it as colorful as possible. That way you get lot of antioxidants along with your diet. So don't keep vegetables, means don't keep eating potatoes alone. I know it is yum, but they are highly rich in starch. Yes, they have vitamin C. Some people tell me, "Hey, yeah, yes, they're very good source of vitamin C. Why can't I eat potatoes?" No, they have. Yes, you have other good sources of vitamin C in form of fruits. So try to focus that, and try to have variety of color. Make it as colorful as possible, and keep alternating it. Don't buy the same vegetable and fruit every other week. So try to have a variety. That way you consume a lot of antioxidants. And the cooking, when it comes to cooking without oils, our Indian cooking and most of our cookings, they don't work. So yes, use oil in a very, wise manner. If you're a family of four, the actual prescribed RDA for a family of four is only 2 liters of oil if you're a family of four. And I'm talking about adults here, children don't count. So you say you're a family of four, but with small little kids, you need to make that calculation as well. And alternate the oils. Use nut-based oils like coconut oil, groundnut oil, rice bran oil can also be used in your cooking, canola, and olive oil, of course. And keep alternating the oils. That is a very important thing that we forget to do, because we are used to cooking in a traditional way with one particular oil, and we always tend to buy that. But research has proven that if you keep alternating oils, like for first half of the month you use canola, then you use rice bran, or you have a mixture of both, like that, if you do, it's very good for your heart health. It's not only good for reduction in weight and all that stuff, but also it's very good for your heart health. So keep that small point in mind. Keep alternating the oils. And water, yes, please have plentiful. Minimum 2 liters, I would say, should be, have. But this is excluding your milk and coffee, tea consumption, plain water as such. Coming back, so we covered most of these things on the plate itself. So focus on, high complex carbohydrates, make it wholesome, when you eat, low in saturated fatty acids, trans fatty acids. Avoid processed food as much as possible. I know it is easily available. It reduces your, cooking time, and it tastes yum. All that is there. But please avoid processed food, because you don't know what goes into it, to make it that delicious. They are very cheap. Yes, you can easily, purchase them, but they are also having very detrimental effect on health, not only for your weight gain, but also for other non-communicable diseases that nowadays we are observing. For young adults, they are developing diabetes and hypertension and stuff like that. So avoid refined grains and processed foods as much as you can, and snack sensibly. Try to snack on a fruit. I know it sounds bizarre when I say snack on a fruit all the time, but alternate it. Don't always think only snacking is only fruit. You can even have some nuts some good amount of walnuts, almonds, and you just store and make it a practice at home so that kids observe you and they also start snacking healthy. It's not only us, right? We need to set example for our kids as well. So when we practice something, kids are automatically all eyes on us, and they also try to match what we do. So the good, let's bring in the good stuff at home. When you buy itself, you look at the label and then start buying. And control emotional eating, as I already told. Stress, sometimes people tend to overeat to manage stress or some emotional imbalances that occur. We looking for some comfort food, and to get some solace. But please try to find other ways to manage your emotions, like taking a walk or listening to music, or reading a book, meditation, yoga, something like that. Find ways to overcome that, and of course plenty of water. So this is the plate. Yes. So this is in vogue now. Everybody is into intermittent fasting, and I'm sure most of you here want to hear about intermittent fasting as well. Maybe some of you have already tried out. We'll discuss that, at the end. So it is not a diet here. Intermittent fasting is nothing but it's more of when you're eating it rather than what you're eating. So diet is always about what to eat, what not to eat, and stuff like that. Whereas intermittent fasting is all about when you are eating. So at a specific time, you're allowed to eat, and the rest of the time, you're going on fast. So this is the terminology. This is what it means. Here, basically, what is happening? You need to understand what is intermittent fasting, right? So always your body is used to supply of food, and then it burns down that energy, and for all the activities that we need, we are using that energy. We saw that in the energy balance, right? So now what you are doing, you're depriving the body of that energy when you're fasting. So what happens is there's the cells are not having any sugars to burn up, right? So where will they go for? The body activity has to keep going. Nothing will stop because you have stopped eating. The things will be normally functioning in your body. So this is where the metabolism changes. So now when you're going into fasting, the fat stores that you have accumulated over all these months are going to slowly get used up to give energy. So our target is to use up the fat stores to provide energy rather than minute by minute, supplying it with food. So that is all is called as intermittent fasting. So in the fasting period, we want our fat to burn. That is in simple terms. So this, how the fasting window here, you can change this window. Some prefer, having an 16-hour fasting period. Some prefer to have even fast for 20 hours. So again, it is individual in perspective, how you can suit your lifestyle. You please follow that. And one thing I want to say is just directly don't get into intermittent fasting without consulting your practitioner, because there may be underlying medical conditions like pre-diabetics, and those who are diabetic or having some other ailments like thyroidism and all that. You need to consult a practitioner before you start intermittent fasting. Okay, keep that in mind. Yeah, first very common plan that is, firstly when it came into practice, this plan was the one that came into practice and still being followed by many. It's called the 16-8 plan. So 16 hours you go into fasting, and only in the 8-hour window you're going to have food. And that 8-hour window, you're not going to feast. Feast, remember that it's not feasting because you're going to go on fasting. You have to have a very balanced, healthy meal during that 8-hour window. And it can be of your choice. But choose wisely, yes. Example here, say you start your breaking your fast at 12 o'clock. Between 12 p.m. to 8 p.m., you can have food and all your drink, everything during that window, and the rest from 8 p.m. from that night to the next day morning 12 o'clock, you're going to go on a fasting. And you can have lots of water during the fasting period. It is allowed. And one cup of coffee with, low fat milk is also allowed. So as I told earlier, you can adjust this window to, set your life according to your lifestyle. I'll quickly run through this. This is another common one, the 5-2 diet. It is also another plan like 16-8. Here, basically, you are normal for 5 days, normal eating habits on 5 days a week, and only on 2 days you're going to have restricted diet. Restricted in sense you're reducing the calorie content of your diet on that 2 days alone. It can be any 2 days again of your choice. Standard is at least 1/4 of the day's diet you are going to consume, 1/4 to half. So for an adult, it is 2000 calories per day, say. So you're only consuming 500 calories per day. For men, it is 600, and for women, it is 500. So that was about intermittent fasting. So the second goal that we are focusing here is the physical activity. All of you are aware how important it is to be physically active in order to stay fit and healthy, not only in terms of weight reduction, but just for, wellness. So the more you move, the more you burn. So you have to be on the move. I'm not saying you have to not even sit at all, keep walking up and down. No, that's not what I meant. Please break your sedentary routine every now and then. Make it a point, just to remind yourself that, okay, you have been, sitting in one place for more than half an hour now. Let me have a break. Just walk down or stand for some time. Find your ways to move. Use steps or stairs when climbing. Avoid lifts. That's a small thing that you can change in your routine. And then use some reminders, like, you set some alarms or something, like this time I need to step out to get some fresh air. So that way you modify your pattern and try to exercise at least minimum for 30 minutes a day. Okay, 30 minutes, let it be minimum. Okay, your maximum can be even 1.5 hours. That's up to you. But focus on that and try to, make friends and go for a walk, do Zumba, sports, play with kids often. All this, find ways where you can move physically. Okay. And many of us are now using fitness trackers in the form of watch or mobile phones and everything. They monitor our steps. Yes. When it says 10,000 steps, your goal is reached and everything, it, awards you with stuff, but don't get fooled by that. So they are just, counting the motion of your wrist and your limbs, basically. So even if you're sitting here, like how I'm just shaking my hand and while talking, it's going to think that I'm physically very active. Well, no, I'm sitting here and talking to you, just shaking my limbs. So don't get fooled by that. Make effort to step out and do some cardio exercises or some small running, jogging, something. So we'll see the types of exercises now which you can practice. The cardio exercises are very easy. You can just achieve that by simple fast walking and jogging. Most of us can do that. Or if you are a person who visits the gym, yes, you can focus on strengthening, muscle strengthening exercises and core exercises as well. So physical activity is something we need to revisit and see where we stand and then improve on. As you see this table here, exercise, these two are directly proportional. Like if you're not, if you say in that way, if you're exercising more, you're going to lose weight more. Yes, so that is what this table explains. The more the exercise, the more the weight you're going to lose. Very important key in managing your weight here is behavior and lifestyle modification. How we are going to put into effect the diet and the physical activity, all that we were talking now, how we are going to put it into practice, how we are going to integrate them matters. So every day we need to focus on, making some small changes into our lifestyle in order to get to that goal. So set yourself some goal. So it need not be, reducing weight or increasing your weight, nothing like that, but small changes like just to live healthy, how we were doing before. Just give an assessment, sit as a family, and revisit what you have been doing all this while and how you can modify it. Some small changes, slowly try to bring in the changes, not all one at a time, and try to change your diet, your physical activity pattern, and everything step by step. So set yourself some smart goals, reduce stress, try to manage them better way, and always consider yourself the priority. Yes, sometimes we don't do that. We keep ourselves a very low priority. So it's time you focus on yourself. Be mindful of what you're doing, especially when you're eating. Please practice mindful eating. As a family, it has a very positive effect. So no gadgets, no TV. When you eat, focus on food, relish your food, enjoy the meal, and only then really what you're consuming. So let us practice that mindful eating and having meals together as a family. Rest well. Yes, sleep is very important thing. Just like stress, how it has a detrimental effect. Sleep as well. You have to have a good night's sleep, at least for 7 to 8 hours, in order to do any activities. The next day. So it soothes your metabolism. It keeps everything in place for the ready for next day. So ensure you get good sleep. All these things we already focused, like physical activity and calorie intake, so I'm not just pondering on that now. So plan your meals, as I said, plan ahead. So start cooking more at home. If you plan ahead, cooking becomes easier. So as a family, discuss your likes and dislikes about the choice of food and plan it, and then that way it becomes easier to make home cooked meals. And always stay focused and motivated. Be happy and enjoy life, and that is what it's all about, right? So yes. I think we have almost come to the end of this session of the behavior and lifestyle modification. And thank you. I'm looking forward for the questions. It's over to Prajay now. We have more information on health literacy.
Thank you, first of all, Purnima. And it was very informative, whatever you went through, which is focusing on diet, exercise, and change in lifestyle. So what we have not offered here is we haven't got a magic wand to make you manage your weight. We are not offering you a secret sauce, or we are not offering you a $300 bottle which will magically make you, achieve your weight. What we are here providing you is information of some small changes that you can do to achieve what you need to do, and that is not to necessarily lose weight or gain weight, but to be healthy and fit. So there is a government initiative which we are part of, which is called the Digital Health Literacy Program, under which we are conducting this program. Digital health is about electronically connecting up the points of care so that the health information can be shared securely. So the program is being offered by Good Things Foundation, and ISC are engaged in partnership to promote digital health amongst the Australian community. And focusing mainly on My Health Record. So those who are here as a permanent resident or a citizen, and you have a Medicare health card, you will be able to access humanservices.org, and you will need to register via the MyGov link to access your My Health Record system. It basically is recording information regarding your health, and it maintains a history of your health information. This is usually uploaded by your health provider, which is your doctor, your GP, your health center, as well as any of the reports you get from your lab technicians. But this is for you to access and make sure that the records are maintained and are updated, so that in case you need to travel either interstate or international, you will be able to access your health record information in the case of emergency or in the case of need when you are going to your new health provider and you need some sort of a history information so that they can assist you accordingly. So this is what the government is promoting, and we are also educating on the same. So along today's topic, the government, which is the Australian government, also endorses certain applications on our phones, whether it's Android device or it's an Apple device. You can find certain applications which will be very useful for managing your weight and other health needs. So one of the tools which I myself have personally used and I've found it to be quite useful is called MyFitnessPal. Okay, so MyFitnessPal is basically a system or an application which will track your weight, nutrition, and exercises all in one place. So it's basically like a diary where you put in, say, for example, what you eat on a daily basis or even by meal. And you may notice that even Indian kind of foods are also available there. So once you put in paratha, it will come up with saying how many calories it is. And by the numbers you eat, it'll calculate how many calories you're consuming so that you can keep a record of how much you should be eating on a daily basis. So as what Purnima was mentioning, it's all about consuming. What you consume is what you need to spend. If you're spending much less than what you consume, obviously you're going to gain weight. This will help you track throughout the day, and also it will track what exercises you do. Say, for example, you go for a 30-minute walk or a 40-minute jog, you can add that information, and that will account for the amount of calories you're burning on a daily basis, therefore achieving your goal, which could be either to lose weight or gain weight. Other than MyFitnessPal app, there are other applications such as there is another app called Calm, and these are all applications which have been endorsed by the Australian government, so it is safe to use it. This Calm app is designed to aid sleep, mindfulness, and meditation. So if you are going through stress and you're not able to sleep, you overthink, etc., this application can be useful to you. And Day One is a journaling app that enables you to log your thoughts, feelings, and photos all in one place. This is again for people who are going through depression or tough time. This will help you relieve the stress that you have, especially if you have no one to talk to. But we encourage everyone to find someone to talk to, and Indian Support Center can definitely be one of the resources available for you to talk. So another application is Smoke Free. I'm not sure how many people here are smokers, or you have friends or family who might be indulging in that activity. We all know that it is something which we shouldn't be doing, but some of us are addicted to it, and when you go through it, struggling to actually get out of it. So this particular application, which is Smoke Free, gives you information on techniques and how to quit smoking. And the last one is Couch to 5K. Which is also an application which is designed to help encourage people to get active through a combination of running and walking. This is very similar to MyFitnessPal app. MyFitnessPal app is more complete solution, whereas Couch to 5K is more about activity alone. So that brings us to the end of what we wanted to present today. The reason why we actually went through at a brisk pace is obviously you may have a lot of questions. Because you might have heard all this information already, you might be aware of what it is, but still you may be struggling to achieve what you need to achieve. So we are opening the floor for all the questions you want to ask. I already have a couple of questions here which has been asked by our participants today. I'll go through these questions first, and after that I'll open the floor so that other people can ask the questions. One of the questions asked is, does 30 minutes of exercise include rushing to office walking, morning, evening walks to train station or bus? This is one of the questions. Purnima, if you want to answer that.
Yeah, 30 minutes of brisk walking. Yes, if you're rushing, yes, that is also a physical activity. But mindful walking helps. Okay, so you can say that you are physically active just in that sporadic times, like 5 minutes to the work and all that, but we cannot say that that is sufficient for your weight loss. Okay, so exclusive physical activity for 30 minutes has a different effect on your weight than the sporadic 10 minutes.
Sure. Another question which has been asked is, our parents used to not fast, do mindful eating, etc., but still lived healthy. Why can't we achieve the same now? What are we missing other than eating junk food?
No, our parents always practiced mindful eating, I would say. We always have a family meals. Never we, sat alone at the table looking at the TV and, hogging them. We were never doing that. We always sat on the floor, first thing there. So when you squat on the floor and eat, your your esophagus is straight, and then what you eat, your stomach fills up in the right pace. Whereas when you're sitting on table and chair and we eat, we tend to eat a lot than when we squat on the floor. So that was something that we were all traditionally practicing, squatting on the floor and having food, which we are not doing now. So that small things that we used to do as children, or what our parents did, we need to try to bring that now. That's what I meant.
Good, thank you. Have another question here, which I also had. Should you drink, because there's a lot of debate going on about drinking water. Sometimes too much of water is also not good, is what I heard. Should we drink water before the meals or right after meals?
Both are not advised. Right after meals, you're not supposed to drink water actually. For, technically for digestion, we need the enzymes to, act on the food, directly on the food. So your water is not going to help in digestion. So that is why at least for half an hour to 1 hour, you need to have a gap between your food and water consumption. This is, I'm saying, after food, to aid digestion on the digestion perspective. And before food, many of the dietitians also say that you fill your stomach with water. That way, you are going to eat less. When you're going to, before a meal, if you're going to fill up with water, you tend to eat less. But that has some medical drawbacks as well. So half an hour before and after food, try to avoid water. This is a general thing. And especially after food, please don't drink water. Even if you're drinking, don't drink cold water. Try to have normal temperature water or warm water if you require, but not cold water, because cold water again slows the digestion process.
Good, thank you. I have one more question here, especially focusing towards intermittent fasting. I myself have gone through intermittent fasting, and I've actually found that, amongst all the other techniques and diets and fastings I've tried, intermittent fasting is the only one where I achieve results, quite huge results, I would say. So one of the questions is, when you went through it, you said basically it's essentially skipping breakfast or one meal of the day. On the other side, there's a school of thought. Always we hear the thought saying that don't skip your breakfast, it is unhealthy.
Yes.
Is it really a myth? Can you talk about it?
Yes. See, that window that I showed there, 12 o'clock, it's for a late riser. So if you're an early riser, say for example, you wake up early, 6 in the morning or 5 in the morning, so your day starts early. So your eating window can also start early. You can have the first meal of your day at 8 o'clock rather than having it at 12. As I mentioned earlier, like that window can be adjusted according to your pattern of life. So whether you're an early riser or a late riser, that determines when you're going to start the first meal of the day. And for most of the people who do intermittent fasting, they have found it little helpful, to delay the breakfast. For example, if I have it around 10, and then by that way till 10, I can somehow prolong by having water, and I'm not feeling hungry by then, and then I can have a nice meal at in the morning at 10. But if you are a person who wakes up very early, then I think 8 to 10, between 8 to 10, if you have your first meal of the day, then it's going to be good. But if you're a late riser, yes, 12 o'clock suits you better. So that you need to decide according to when you wake up and how your the hunger pangs are. All that you need to work out and see which time frame you suit.
So essentially what you're saying is, breakfast does not mean it should happen in the morning. It can be when you actually break the fast.
Yes, breakfast, yes, exactly, as the name says. So it's like a brunch, like a thing. And we all know that, right? See, first, for some, as soon as they get up, they are very hungry and they want to, eat food. That eventually your body will get used to that pattern, and that is why sleep is an important thing here, because your sleep pattern also has to be regulated. See, one day you cannot sleep very late and get up very late, and the next day is disrupted. So you see what I mean? Your sleep also here is tied up with your fasting. So you should have a regularity in sleep. Thereby, you regularize when the eating window you can regularize, and you can see which is suiting you the best. You're not hungry anymore, and that sort of a thing. So you need to work it out.
Sure, good, thank you. I have another question here, Purnima.
Yeah.
How do we reinforce habit on an ongoing basis till it becomes a habit of good, healthy eating? So I had this question in mind in a different way. I was thinking about, even say, for example, a habit which is brushing your teeth, right? I don't think anybody goes and enjoys brushing the teeth, but we all have gotten to the habit saying that it's good for us, etc. We go do a thing and we do it as a habit, right? So how do we actually change bad habits that we have, which has led us to, gaining weight, etc.? How do you change it into good habits?
Yeah, see, it's as you said, there's no one like you can just do it and next day it's going to work. No, as I told, like you have to keep some small achievable goals for yourself. It is like suppose you tell your kid, right? Come on, they are weak in one subject. We give them some reward, and we say, come on, you work hard, put in your effort, and you're going to be rewarded with this. So we, in our minds, we need to set small rewards for ourselves.
Sure.
Okay. So when I achieve this target, this will be my reward. Something like that. Have some rewards, for which you are looking forward to, and connect that with your goal. Connect your reward with your goal, and then make some small achievable changes. Don't set very high targets, which nobody can achieve. It can be a very simple thing, like in cutting down on sugars, added sugars in your tea or coffee. It can be as simple as that. Okay. Or taking a brisk walk for 15 minutes, something like that. So let it be very small change, but make that small change count. Repeat those things often, and discuss with your partner or your husband and even your children, right? And make it a family practice. Don't just pressurize on yourself, and you take stress and make stress out of this. Already there is a lot of added stress, and don't treat it as a stressful thing. That's something that you need to do, and you need to focus or something. Make it part of your lifestyle, and in a very what do you say, light-hearted manner. So have a fun talk about it with your family, and find ways where you can achieve it as a family together. So that is what it matters, right? Sometimes you think, yeah, I have to, reduce weight, so I'm going to do this. Rest of the family, I need to focus for cooking all this. Make meals that can be had together as a family, not only specific for you. So you are not stressed that way or for overload of work or whatever. So make it a family practice. So that way you won't even know that you're doing something, but you will be still, making those small changes to achieve your target.
One question is, nowadays kombucha is advertised as a good gut health drink. Is this a myth? How much is gut health important as they say?
Yeah, gut health is associated with general health well-being. No, not with kombucha. We've been doing it as a traditional practice with finishing it off with a yogurt, right? Our meal has always had probiotics. That we talk about probiotics is nothing but the yogurt culture. They have some microorganisms. They're called the good microbes that are the body needs in order to cleanse the system. So here, people, they have gone into marketing drinks, and then tagging on a price and advertisement for it. And this is something that we can not avoid, but doesn't mean that you need to spend those extra dollars on kombucha alone to maintain your gut health. There are other natural ways, like which we normally have at home. You can increase the amount of probiotics through those things, like especially making it a practice to consume yogurt.
Yeah, it's all about good bacteria, right? So
Yes,
that
it's all
can,
about the good bacteria, and
Okay,
also
but
when you
yeah,
are
I
having
have
some antibiotics, or you are having some ailment, and you are trying to work against those ailment, where you example you're taking antibiotics, then you need the added good microorganisms. Otherwise, normally what we eat is sufficient. And try to add more fiber in your diet as well, and soluble fiber. Here fiber means soluble fiber, which is helpful in maintaining gut health and also other intestinal colon problems.
yeah, thank you. I
yeah,
believe somebody wanted to say something. Sorry, you.
yeah, yeah. Purnimati, I have one question actually. There are a lot of tips is very important to have in our day-to-day practice. But what happens is we get so busy in our routine. So how do we really keep ourselves reinforced all the time till it becomes a habit? Was my question to you.
Yeah, everything practice only we can focus, like practice makes us perfect. As I said, we cannot say like one day I'm going to change the entire lifestyle. When you plan like ahead, planning ahead of a week what you're going to have, that way I think slowly you can bring in the change, especially in diet. See,
Yeah,
yeah, by planning ahead, like not just today think, get up and think, okay, what I can make for lunch or dinner or what breakfast. Because when you fix up like that, you tend to do the easiest way possible, and with what available ingredients we just put and we just make a meal, not thinking
yeah,
about it's the balance that we saw
yes,
earlier, right? But whereas when you plan it ahead and you purchase it, a week ahead, and have it like this. Today I'm going to focus on this grain. To let it be this grain today and this pulse. Like that, every day you plan it out. That way you get a variety, and also you are, unknowingly you are having the good nutrients in your diet.
yeah,
What I do for my weight control, probably I might want to share with. I strongly believe in one philosophy. Of course, all the other things that Purnima has spoken is well taken in terms of diet and things like that. That must be done. But in the physical part of it, what I do in my life is 10,000 steps make a perfect kind of health for anyone. So that would keep probably your weight under control. That's what I have been doing pretty regularly.
That's good. Thank you for sharing your technique, Mr. Subbarao. And I have another question here from the audience. One of the common things which we actually hear when we visit our doctors is, especially with people from the South Asian community, Indian community, is that we are lacking in B12, iron in our system, especially when we are vegetarians or vegans. So how do you manage this, and what are the sources for B12 and iron?
B12, low B12, actually you're more prone to mouth ulcers and even depression per se. But if you are a non-vegetarian, yes, it is difficult to get B12 from plant-based sources, but nothing is impossible. You can try a B12 supplements. Yes, if your levels are very low, then yes, you have to go into B12 supplements. But egg, if you're a person who can consume egg, please consume, like you can have around 3 to 4 eggs,
Sure.
3 to 4 eggs per week.
What about iron?
Iron, green leafy vegetables. Lots of green leafy vegetables, broccoli. Kale is a sometimes Indian cooking we don't use kale much, but try replacing spinach with kale. Kale is rich in calcium as well, so that way, and it's rich in antioxidants. So kale can also be cooked similar to spinach. So whatever recipes you were trying out with spinach, try doing it with kale. Keep alternating it. Use a lot of greens. That way, you're adding fiber as well to the diet.
I have one last question. what is more effective, consuming raw vegetables or cooked vegetables?
See, we cannot narrow down here raw versus cooked. It doesn't work that way. It should be a mixture of both. Certain vegetables are good when consumed raw than cooked. Overcooking, most of the vitamins and minerals are lost during overcooking. So yes, like carrots, for example, you can consume raw. But again, cabbage, most of us don't like it raw. So you need to, keep that variation in mind. What suits your palate, you can work on it. So some people prefer raw food only, whereas some only want cooked meals. So try to merge both, which can be had like a salad. Try to make salad out of it and consume it, and the rest you can just cook and eat. So there's nothing like a hard and fast rule that you have to have only fruits and vegetables raw in the raw form.
Thank you, Purnima. I'm sure we have plenty more questions, but for the sake of time, etc., we thank you for today's event. I don't believe there's any other questions pending, but if there are, please contact us through our Indian Support Center, and we will definitely plan another program if people are interested. So thank you all for coming and joining today on the Sunday afternoon. And everybody, I would wish you to keep fit and keep smiling always. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.